Yeah, good to see you guys. I think this is I know it's a tough place to play. A lot of respect for Coach Campbell and the staff and the team that he has. I think, I remember our 2020 game where we were up until we weren't, and then, we lost that game, and so it's just a difficult place. I think they don't beat themselves; they make you have to win it, and a lot of that was shown today, and I'm excited to be able to see the team take a step. I think the ability to try to get the guys to reveal themselves and not try to be something that they're not, and really kind of have a trust to where they can. We call it playing green, but being authentic with everything. I thought there was some of that today, and I'm proud of them for that. With that, take any questions you guys got.
Do you feel like this could be a big breakthrough moment for the team? You went to BYU, didn't quite pull that off. Then you pulled this one off. A tough game.
No, I appreciate that question. I don't know. I see it as like there's. I think it's just another step in kind of our process. There's our team, I feel, is colored by just so much youth, and they're all over, man. They're all over everywhere you look, and so what happens there is that so many of them will hear what you say, but really they have to make a mistake with doing the opposite of what you say, and then hopefully they learn, and then it all becomes like how you handle that mistake, and so they don't just like me versus you or us versus them, and you're part of the them. So I don't know if that makes sense. I think it's just when you have a bunch of youth to be able to try to get stuff right, but be inclusive with it is a way big trick. And so we're in the middle of that right now.
Dave, Blake seemed very patient. I guess the offensive line helped you with that, but waiting for guys to get open, that kind of thing. Did you see that from him today?
Yeah, and I think I appreciate that. And I think that's who Blake is, up until probably 2 games ago. And then I think he was that in the second half of last game. And so I think, so much of it is, so much of it is focusing on what you can control, not putting your focus on outside things. And, it's crazy how a whisper can turn into almost like a roaring chorus. And I think when you look into it, there's not a whole lot there, but it's your mind playing tricks on you. And I feel like we've been all through that with Blake and a couple other guys on offense particularly. And so it was good to see them trust themselves and trust the coaches and kind of play as a collective unit.
How cool was it to see Dylan come home and score a touchdown?
Pretty cool, yeah. I think he had about 50 people here. And so way excited for him, just his story and just all of it, way neat. And, he's been great throughout this week. I think, when Dylan really making himself available to the younger players and making himself so that, he's way approachable. I think he's really made an emphasis on that, and I think that's connected him and made us a stronger team.
Coach, your voice is a little hoarse. We saw you celebrating on the sideline at the game. Did you purposely bring a little extra juice this game?
No, man. It's always been like that. But I guess the cameras, they got me. So, yeah. It's all part of it.
Have you seen that clip?
I have.
What are your thoughts after the fact?
That's all. It's always kind of been that, at least till now. Now it probably won't be anymore.
Dave, the defense, particularly the second half, I mean, they got 2 takeaways, got a lot of pressure on their quarterback. What was the difference there, I guess?
0-0 game. I think, and this just goes with the youth of the team. We were up 10 in the second quarter, and you could feel the huddles more looking at the scoreboard. You could feel on the sidelines guys talking about, look at what we're doing, and you could just feel like guys were happy. And it's not to say that football you can't be happy, but we were almost too happy. And, I thought that directly reflected, offensively I think it was 3 and out, and then defensively giving up a score there at the end. And everyone's trying and everybody's doing, what they're coached to do and what is the right call and all that. I just think there's such a, underneath all of the play calls and underneath all of the play designs and the techniques, underneath it is the motivations and the heart set and kind of, the integrity of what are we really doing when we're doing what we're doing. And that needed a lot of work today. And I thought the third and fourth quarter were much better. And, guys were going 0-0 game, guys are going there is no scoreboard and all that. And I think they kind of fought through it. I'm proud of them for that. We're going to need more of that.
You talk a lot about being your players being their authentic selves. Obviously, there could be some self-doubt after a game like BYU.
Mm-hmm.
How does a game like this counteract that, especially with guys like Blake Shapen?
Yeah, I think it builds. I think, it would be great if you didn't need some form of external validation for things. But I think that call or that force externally is so strong that I think you need it. And so we talk about being inside out a ton, but if we can get the things like this to where we can build off of it, for sure we'll do it. And then, try to be able to take the next step, because there's a whole lot to it. It's crazy. You just go this game and just all the different waves and, Hans' team being on there at 2 separate times possibly and the whole thing. So it gets crazy quick. And so for us to not get in the way of it is really the challenge we're trying to accomplish.
Dave, the play by Snacks, the ruling didn't go your way.
Uh-huh.
To see him run downfield and make that play, what does that say?
Yeah, the maturity in him. I think the care for his team. I think Snacks will admit it. I mean, there's times in last year's practice tape and even game tape where that was not the case. And so, pretty cool thing. Yeah, so we're still getting better with that too.
Okay, not big numbers, but the run game, what it was able to do, even going down to that last drive, y'all were able to get a couple first downs. Yeah, I think, starting the game off throwing it and then loosening stuff up and then using angles. I thought, this was with Grimy and them and Sean and Juice and Eric and Dallas and all of them. This was one of the tighter, simpler, and more innovative game plans. I thought they did a great job. They deserve a lot of credit. And, we were able to manipulate that U player, that safety, that makes a lot of plays for them. And then we were able to, clear guys out. They're underneath-wise, they get so much depth in the 3-man rush, 8-man drop. And I think Drake had one of the shallows where you just kind of catch it and run it, try and matriculate that thing. And they were able to do that and execute, and guys had confidence and they believed in it. And it's one of those weeks where you felt it kind of grow. And I think a lot of it had to do with their plan. So it was good to see.
Dave, what was it like to finally see some interceptions go your way?
Yeah, that has been something that has been focused on, and I'm happy to be able to see them have some reward for all of their efforts. I think that's something that we still have to get better at, but you could see that they were trying, and I think that's really half the battle. So I'm proud of them for that.
The ball's now rolling on Big 12 play. Obviously, a huge matchup with Oklahoma State this coming Saturday. When do you start turning your attention to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm thinking right now about like sleeping and making sure that we leave this place looking good and all that, and getting back. But I think we start up around midday on Sundays, and the routine that we're in right now with the team and the effort by everybody and the family environment that we got, I think is pretty cool. And so to have a home game kind of ahead of us, I know we'll get everybody that much more energy in our given week. Excited for that.
Bryson, particularly second half, looked like y'all got really good pressure. Was there anything that changed at halftime?
No, just doing what we did practice all week, which was just basically having complimentary football. So, offense going out there, creating, making plays, and defense following up and making stops so offense can get back out there. So I think today was a great example of complimentary football from both sides.
What does this mean to the team to win a big road game like this, especially in the conference opener?
It means everything. One thing that we talk about is energy, and I think a lot of guys brought that today in the focus. So throughout the week, we had a lot of intentional focus with practice, and doing those things allowed us to.
We have to fix that.
No, yeah. Doing those things on the field today was just all about our focus and preparation. So just having intentional focus, and when your number's called, you go out there and do the best you can on the field. So.
Seemed like you guys got better pressure as the game went on. Did you feel that way? Or?
As far as like the pressure.
On the quarterback.
Oh, yeah. So that was just, we practiced 2 minute. We practiced all situations at practice as far as like getting on the quarterback. So today was just a compliment to what we've worked for pretty much all week. So we saw a lot of pressure, a lot of our schemes that we ran today, and that's a good thing for us as a defense, knowing that we can go practice something and go out here and execute at a high level.
Bryson, to watch Dylan have a homecoming and has a huge game, what was that like to watch?
It was truly amazing because this is something that Dylan loves. Dylan comes in, day out, puts the work in, and he's such a big leader on our team that being back in his home field and being able to show what all the work that he's put in. That's truly amazing. So we just got to see like players pretty much help each other out and stay next to each other throughout the whole game because we knew it was going to be a 4-quarter battle.
Your offense had that trick play, big hitting trick play. What does that do just for the energy of the defense, kind of spark you guys?
Definitely turns it up. So as you saw, we were on the sideline partying pretty much when that happened. So definitely was a compliment for the energy on the sideline that we definitely needed, especially at a away game.
How big of an emphasis was there on stopping their run game? Y'all did a really good job of that today.
Yes, so Tuesday, Wednesday, there was a major emphasis on stopping the run, and we want to run the ball too. So those emphases both were on our checklist, and I think that we completed those tasks. And it just shows the focus that we had towards it pretty much, and the intentionality as far as guys playing their techniques and playing their assignments. So it's a great thing for our defense moving forward.
Bryson, y'all got 2 turnovers and almost got the third one. Was that frustrating a little bit when that call was overturned? Or?
Yeah, I think because of the energy and we've been starting the Jackers and Robbers pretty much throughout the weeks of the preseason. So coming in here and having 2 turnovers was a big emphasis because that's something that we absolutely needed going into conference play. So it was frustrating, but that's just because we wish we could have got an extra one to put on our belt.
Bryson, experiencing that noise at BYU, how helpful was that today with how loud it got at times?
BYU was a learning lesson, and I think that for us, we had to go into the next week with understanding that we can't let the outside affect the inside. So it definitely prepared us for this fight today, because it was more of we weren't beating ourselves or battling ourselves. We were playing within our control and what we were used to. Yeah.
We have a huge matchup coming up on the Brazos next Saturday. How soon do you start thinking about that?
Right now. So so what's next? And we're just pretty much looking at it as coming in Sunday, watching film, Monday attacking the week, and pretty much hitting the objectives and the points that we want to hit moving forward throughout the week.
Like a big road win, what does this mean? Is this kind of a breakthrough for you guys to win this game?
Yeah, I'd say so. We struggled a little bit against BYU with the noise and things like that, and being able to bounce back the week after at home and then be able to come here on the road and get a big win. I think people take it, they don't look at that and give it too much credit at times, but it's always a big win when you go on the road and win. So,
Looked like you were patient, waiting for guys to open. Maybe the offensive line gave you that time, but just talk about that, what you were able to do in the passing game.
Yeah, I think the passing game only works if the O-line, does their job, and I do my job, and they did a great job, protecting me and giving me time to make plays and throws down the field.
Talk with happened on the razzle-dazzle play?
Yeah.
And just kind of
Yeah.
go through
Yeah, it was a great call, great spot in the field. Like, you couldn't have drew it up any better than Coach Grimes did on that, so that's all I got to say.
that. Is it hard to make that many connections on a play? I mean, for it to go off perfectly?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. But I think we had a good drive put together on that, and we caught momentum, and that play happened to just fall wide open for us. So.
Yeah, Blake, when Gavin's running that wide open, what's your mindset? Or you just got to calm yourself down, maybe? Or
Yeah, just make the throw. I mean, when no one was 20, 30 feet near him, so just make sure it gets there and he catches it. So.
Like, what was it like having Ben Sims back in your connection?
It's awesome because he's a veteran guy. He knows what's going on. He's been in these situations more than I have, and so having a guy on the field that's able to, keep me calm, I keep, them calm. It's always good to have a veteran guy and his presence on the field, and his ability, is another thing to talk about too. So.
Was it nice to have Dylan running that touchdown route?
Yeah, it's awesome. So.
Like, you took a few shots downfield today. Do you feel like that helps your confidence when you're able to connect on some of those deep balls?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's not really given to us, and so you won't see it as much in downfield throws and things like that. But when they're given to us and we're able to take advantage of them, it opens up the offense.
Why did that play to Dylan work so well? I mean, what did y'all do to the defense?
I think everyone just doing their job and being on the same page, and us selling wide zone like we always do, and being able to open up the edge so I can come out free and Dylan can get open.
anything else? Blake, how much of an emphasis was it just to get what you can from the running game? Because this is a team that not allowed a whole lot of running yards. We're able to have some success running.
No, we talked about falling forward all week. Our backs did a great job with just falling forward and fighting for, 1 to 2 to 3 yards every play, and our O-line did a heck of a job too. So I'm proud of our running backs. They played a great game, just being able to take what they gave us, and if that was 2 to 3 yards and putting us in manageable situations, and that's what we needed, and they did that.
How impressed have you been with Richard Reese not allowing a moment to get too big for him, considering he's just a freshman?
Yeah, he did a great job. He was calm the whole game, and like I said, did his job, and he was on the same page with everyone, and that was my job, was to communicate to them as clearly as I could with a loud crowd or whatever. So being able to communicate and things like that helped. He did a great job.